yes, another wonderful Saturday to bake some traditional rat cookies, fresh from the paws of our beloved kitchen interns. Welcome to SatireAIzed, the only place where the dough gets kneaded, tasted, and quality approved by creatures who haven't washed their hands since the Roman Empire. Here, every whisk, every roll, every gentle sprinkle of flour is supervised by our furry inspectors, because nothing says authentic street food heritage like sharing your prep table with the local plague ambassadors. It's artisanal, it's rustic, it's profoundly alarming. Now sit back, inhale carefully, and enjoy the culinary catastrophe unfolding before you. And don't forget to subscribe, so this glorious kitchen chaos can spread across YouTube like a grease fire no one bothered to extinguish. Behold Kalkota Fried Chicken, the only establishment where every crispy delight begins its journey on a sun-kissed tarp that's seen more history and fluids than any health inspector could emotionally handle. Here the chef handpicks each chicken foot with the loving tenderness of someone selecting rotten fruit for a medieval punishment ritual. The ingredients are wrapped in leaves because nothing says eco-friendly cuisine like biodegradable packaging for non-biodegradable trauma. Then comes the fire ceremony. Chicken legs are roasted over an open pit that looks like it's been used to summon spirits who immediately regretted answering. Once lightly scorched, the delicacies are transferred to a pan filled with oil that's older than the concept of hygiene. A splash of mystery seasoning is added, possibly turmeric, possibly dust from 400 disappointed ancestors. The result? A dish that crackles with flavor, danger, and the faint promise of a gastrointestinal pilgrimage you will never forget. Welcome to Kalkota Fried Chicken, where the crunch isn't just from the food, it's also from your collapsing sense of self-preservation. Behold the latest masterpiece from the Toilet Temple Beverage Company, where refreshment begins with a generous ladle of what can only be described as holy water straight from the ceremonial brush jar. A bold choice, because why filter your liquids when you can challenge your immune system? Next comes the luxurious swirl of strawberry dental fluoride, added with the confidence of a man who truly believes enamel-strengthening chemicals double as gourmet syrup. It's not a drink, it's a dental appointment in a bowl. Then, as if this bubbling potion wasn't already screaming, "forbidden cocktail," they carve watermelon with the precision of a surgeon who learned anatomy from cartoons and drop it into the mix like it's going to solve anything. Spoiler, it does not. Finally, the concoction is served with a mist of dramatic vapor, either from dry ice or the collective sighs of your internal organs bracing for impact. A toast to innovation, chaos, and beverages that taste like a cavity filling gone rogue. Cheers. Ah, the chef's special. A curry so mysterious it comes with its own identity crisis. The star ingredient today is that enigmatic leaf-shaped thing he keeps scooping like it's perfectly normal. Is it a bay leaf? A banana leaf shard? The wing of a cockroach last seen in a prehistoric documentary? Who can say? The beauty lies in the suspense and the risk. The leaf is placed on top like a garnish of doom, ready to infuse the dish with either aroma or trauma. The tomato and onion slices try their best to distract you, but nothing on that plate can outshine the looming question, should you eat it or should you run? A culinary thriller from start to finish. No matter what that leaf was, your digestive system will definitely have an opinion.
Your word is shower.
Can you repeat that?
Shower.
I am not familiar with that word, sir.
Here's Patel from India, and what's happened to the water? The pool is brown. My goodness, that's absolutely disgusting.
Ah, behold, a culinary spectacle from the depths of somewhere between gastroenteritis and genius. The kind of video that makes you question not only your lunch choices, but your faith in the food pyramid itself. We begin with a lone culinary prophet, stationed heroically next to what can only be described as a biohazard swamp with traffic. His mission? To concoct what appears to be a lemon-based elixir, or perhaps a potion to summon intestinal chaos. The lemons? freshly rescued from their morning swim in what might generously be described as puddle chic. One could almost hear them scream in citrus dialect as they're plucked from the mossy abyss. But wait, the pièce de résistance. Ice, sourced directly from the artisanal depths of the local sewer grate. Yes, dear viewers, where others see sewage, he sees a spa retreat for frozen cubes. He lovingly macerates the ice for 24 hours in a subterranean marinade, allowing it to soak up those terroir notes only found near drainage pipes and expired chewing gum. And just when you think the health inspector might leap through the screen like a Marvel character, plot twist. He pours the concoction into a vintage paint bucket, complete with rustic stains and what may or may not be lead-based flavor enhancers. In the end, you don't know whether to gag or applaud. Is it a beverage? Is it a social experiment? Is it bio-warfare in a cup? One thing's for sure, it's not just street food, it's street philosophy, a statement on resilience, immunity, and man's eternal quest to turn anything into a drink. There's street food, and then there's whatever this fever dream of culinary innovation claims to be. It begins with a man who seems less interested in cooking and more in auditioning for a low-budget remake of Cirque du Soleil, Kitchen Edition. With the grace of a caffeinated octopus, he tosses ingredients skyward, only to miscalculate and send a bag of unidentified edible matter flying into orbit. Meanwhile, someone appears to have mistaken dried noodles for a building material. Rather than boiling them like any functioning member of society, the chef reveals what looks like a compressed wheel of pasta, the kind of artifact archaeologists might one day mislabel as an ancient millstone. These noodles are not served. They are extracted with the care and suspicion one usually reserves for radioactive isotopes. But nothing prepares the palate for the grand finale, a dish proudly labeled as Indian-style porridge. To prepare it, the chef thoughtfully introduces a giant ice block to a burning hot pot, presumably to balance the elements and appease the culinary gods. The ice is not added, it is ritually melted through furious rubbing, as though the pot owes him money. Into this chaos goes a generous ladle of what can only be described as grease, possibly harvested from a particularly unlucky animal or the underside of a 1987 Toyota Corolla. The result? A dish that defies genre, temperature, and perhaps legality. Somewhere between food, performance art, and environmental hazard, this is not just street food. It's asphalt gastronomy at its most unhinged. 5 stars all in the heart of the bustling streets where aromas dance freely with smog and anticipation, begins a tasting experience like no other. One that redefines the boundaries between cuisine and survival. The first course arrives without warning, a robust stew ladled from one ancient blackened vessel into another, with all the finesse of an industrial oil change. The texture is remarkable, thick, gelatinous, and somehow both dry and wet at once. One can taste the history in it. Centuries of culinary tradition, layered with sweat, rust, and something faintly resembling despair. Preparation takes place on plain air, where the chef, unconstrained by conventional notions such as kitchens, has chosen the intimacy of a public drainage system as his stage. Water trickles nearby, a natural broth enhanced by runoff and urban sediment. Firewood crackles beneath a pot so well seasoned, it likely predates refrigeration. There is no pretense here, only authenticity and the occasional rat. The service is refreshingly unpretentious. Portions are distributed generously, with sweeping gestures that recall the grain tossings of medieval Europe. Diners huddle, hands outstretched, bowls clutched like relics as dollops of sustenance arc gracefully through the air. It's communal, it's primal, it's Michelin-starred anarchy. But the experience is not reserved for the masses alone. In a more refined setting, beneath a chandelier and among marble finishes, one encounters a gentleman partaking in the same delicacy. There is no cutlery, only fingers, animated and reverent, sculpting rice and curry into edible architecture. Each bite is an event, each slurp a manifesto. Sauces cascade down arms, pooling elegantly on elbows. Table manners are discarded, for here the hands are the true instruments of flavor. From gutter to palace, this culinary symphony transcends class, convention, and common sense. It is not merely a meal, it is a revolution, served hot with a side of intestinal fortitude. Ah yes, behold the Michelin street chef of Biohazard Boulevard, master of the chicken feet and butane egg risotto deluxe, each serving lovingly handcrafted, marinated in sweat, and stirred with the precision of a man who's clearly given up on gloves, spoons, and possibly hope. Watch in awe as he folds rice, mystery sauce, and poultry appendages together with the same hands that probably fixed a rickshaw this morning. The texture? Somewhere between wet newspaper and déjà vu from your last food poisoning. And just when you think it can't get any more artisanal, he serves it directly onto recycled paperwork, sustainable and regrettable. Truly, this dish reminds me of the little vomit logs my dog used to bury in the backyard. Except this one costs extra for the authentic experience. Welcome to the Wheel of Dysentery, the only game show where everyone loses weight instantly. Watch as our culinary alchemist pours molten curry straight from the cauldron of regret, then seasons it with equal parts mystery herbs and existential dread. The aroma alone could sterilize a lab rat at 20 paces. And the best part? It's a full-body experience, because this masterpiece exits your system far faster and under much higher pressure than it ever entered. Truly a flavor so intense it bypasses digestion and heads straight for the emergency exit. The legendary surrealist omelette, cooked in a pan that looks like it's seen more cricket matches than frying sessions. I'm not sure if this cookware was designed by Salvador Dali or rescued from an archaeological dig behind a dumpster fire. Here we see bread soaking in egg, sizzling gently while the local health authorities look the other way. But not the rats. Oh no, the rats are the real critics here. They inspect, approve, and if fortune smiles upon you, they'll season your meal themselves. One delicate paw print at a time. Finally, it's all elegantly served on today's newspaper, so you can read your own obituary while you eat. Ah yes, welcome to the Fermentation Festival, where the chef doesn't serve food, he curates biological ecosystems. In this sacred bowl of chaos, we find rotting fruit, mango leather, and enough airborne protein from the resident fly colony to technically qualify as a mixed grill. Each scoop is a surprise. A bit of syrupy decay here, a chunk of sun-baked mystery there. Truly the tasting menu of entropy itself. The chef, ever generous, ensures everyone gets a little of everything. Mold, sugar, despair, and just a hint of tetanus. A balanced plate for those who like their vitamins with a side of virology. Behold the street risotto a la hand wash, a dish so immersive the chef personally scrubs the pan and your lunch in one glorious motion. Each grain of rice marinated in essence of elbow and mystery sauce, stirred with the passion of a man exfoliating his soul. The ingredients: potatoes, oil, despair, and a faint note of industrial degreaser. Michelin stars? No, Michelin fingerprints, directly included.
Dad, I want to shave my mustache.
No daughter of mine is going to shave her mustache. Go back to scamming or I will spray you with deodorant.
No, not the deodorant.
Welcome to the all-you-can-suffer buffet, featuring 5 artisanal shades of diarrhea, from mild regret to full emotional breakdown. Each pot tells a story. The first one whispers lumpy despair, the second screams emergency exit, and by the 5th, your soul has achieved liquid form. Everything's hand-stirred, occasionally hand-entered, and served fresh from the cauldron of consequences. Truly a tasting journey through every stage of gastrointestinal denial. Michelin? No, this place's rating is flush-worthy. Ah yes, the hygienic lemonade experience. Freshly brewed, straight from the intersection of optimism and cholera. Each lemon is hand-washed in a bucket that's seen more construction work than a cement mixer, then marinated in authentic street essence and stirred with the same hand that's been through several lifetimes of flavor. The result? A zesty blend of citrus, minerals, and microbial mystery, guaranteed to cleanse your soul and everything else inside you within the next 30 minutes. At Frostbite Ice Stand, the experience begins with the vendor hacking away at a prehistoric slab of ice, excavated from the depths of an unclean freezer. The process is less artisanal and more crime scene, as jagged ice shards are violently chipped off and dumped into a cup with no regard for portion control or hygiene. Then comes the signature compression technique, performed barehanded, ensuring a rich infusion of mystery germs. The grand finale, a splash of fluorescent red refrigerant liquid, which they swear is strawberry flavored, but tastes more like a mechanical failure. For those seeking a test of immune strength and questionable life choices, this is the place. For everyone else, maybe just chew on a cold sponge and save yourself the risk. Nothing screams gourmet adventure like a man straight out of an NPC generator trotting down a sun-scorched dirt road on a horse that looks like it lost a fight with malnutrition. Dressed for an Arctic expedition in the middle of a 50-degree furnace, our guide, equipped with sunglasses that have seen more despair than a budget airline pilot, takes us on an exclusive journey to the closest Michelin-starred establishment. And what a place it is. The ambiance, unbeatable. Somewhere between post-apocalyptic refuge and open-air biohazard experiment. The kitchen is a symphony of human dedication and saliva, where food isn't merely prepared, it's experienced. The secret ingredient? A collective effort of mastication, ensuring that every bite is pre-chewed with love, care, and a healthy dose of whatever bacteria nature intended for the adventurous palate. Now onto the main course, a stunning slab of kudu ribs, aged to perfection, not in the dry aging sense, but more in the left in the sun too long way. This masterpiece of protein is as tense as a debt-ridden gambler and tougher than an Arctic sailor's knuckles. Forks? Useless. Knives? Laughable. You'd have better luck gnawing on a truck tire after a 1,000-mile journey. In the end, this isn't just a meal. It's a test of endurance, a battle against the very fabric of chewability, a Michelin-starred fever dream where only the strong survive. Would I recommend it? Absolutely, if you're looking to replace your dental work. Bon appetit, warriors. Why trust science when you can trust your local amateur herbalist? Introducing the ultimate homemade isotonic drink, crafted from the freshest ingredients nature and your neighbor's neglected porch weeds have to offer. Sustainability meets sheer recklessness as today's special brew features an exquisite selection of backyard botanicals, hand-plucked without permission and infused with the essence of questionable decision-making. The base? A thick, milky liquid of unknown origin, possibly dairy, possibly experimental, but certainly unsettling. Into this elixir, our fearless creator adds a touch of terroir, generous helpings of sand, mud, and a mysterious foam that defies categorization. Could it be fermentation? Could it be nature's warning? We may never know. Filtration, of course, is an art form. In place of modern hygiene, we are treated to a time-honored method, straining the concoction through an ancient, battle-worn fabric that could easily pass for the Shroud of Turin. The result? A beverage that promises hydration, tests your immune system, and raises deep existential concerns about what it truly means to be natural. Contains electrolytes, bravery, and a hint of regret. Drink responsibly, or preferably not at all. If you ever find yourself wandering the labyrinthine alleys of our city's night markets, beware the doriyaki mussel cauldron, a dish so visionary, so utterly deranged, that it redefines the boundaries of human digestion. At its helm stands a culinary anarchist, a street vendor whose commitment to innovation is rivaled only by his apparent disregard for food safety laws. His magnum opus? A gargantuan cauldron, its surface encrusted with a legion of doriyakis, clinging to the metal like muscles on the hull of a sunken ship. What eldritch adhesive binds them there? We may never know. Mucus? Desire? Industrial glue? One can only speculate. Then, as if guided by a force beyond mortal comprehension, our maestro uncaps a container of industrial-grade white paint and pours it over the unsuspecting pastries. The viscous fluid seeps into every crevice, baptizing the doriyakis in an unholy marinade. The cauldron lid slams shut, trapping the mixture in a fermentation ritual so potent it could summon an ancient god. But wait, enter the Iceman, a reformed serial killer whose passion for murder has found new expression in the merciless stabbing of ice blocks. He strides forward, his expression cold as the frost he wields, and drops 3 jagged boulders into the bubbling inferno. His work done, he vanishes into the night, leaving only silence and condensation. The grand finale approaches. Our chef, now more mad scientist than baker, unveils the final creation. A plate of what might once have been doriyakis, now baptized in their own rebirth. But he is not done. No, he must complete the ritual. Another generous drizzle of white paint, a dusting of unidentified spices, a splash of ketchup for that artisanal touch, and finally, the pièce de résistance, a cloud of magic powder.